here with another advice question and answer for you. We got a letter in recently from a reader that wants to know what we would call her relationship. She says she met this guy through a friend. They've been hanging out pretty regularly, but she doesn't know whether they should call what they're doing seeing each other, dating, an official couple, or what. She says we go out to dinner and hang out and watch movies, and on the second date, he kissed me goodnight. Every time I go out with him now, he kisses me goodbye. I guess my question would be, are there certain stages to classify a relationship? Is there a particular title or tag that you should give the stage that we are in right now? I'm just kind of confused, but I feel strange jumping out and asking him, hey, what's the deal with us? For fear that he would be freaked out or something. Can you give me a little heads up? And I have to say that this is an extremely common issue with females, which is one of the reasons why I chose to do this particular topic on the video. Women want a title. They want to know, where they are, what they are to you. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because human beings have an innate need to feel emotionally secure. And if a woman feels like, having a defined relationship where she knows the boundaries and the boundaries, feels safer to her, then of course that's what she's going to want. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but time is important. The timing of this is important, and there's a lot of information that you need to get before you even start thinking about that kind of level of commitment from a guy. So, but it bothers me that so many women want to rush through that part of the getting to know part of a relationship and get right to the commitment. They want to say, this is my man, this is my boyfriend, this is my whatever. And, they're not really clear on who or what it is they're committing to. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, this girl who wrote the letter didn't really share with me how long she had been, doing this, whatever she called it, hanging out thing with this guy. Which is an important thing that would have been very helpful for me to know, because of the fact that if it's anything less than 2 to 3 months, any kinds of thought of a solid, committed relationship, one-on-one thing with this guy is totally premature. She hasn't spent enough time around him yet. And when I say consistent dating, what I'm looking at is you seeing this person and spending at least several hours with them once or twice a week. I'm not talking about this 5 or 10 minute thing where they stop by or you just hang out and talk on the phone for hours and hours. That's not dating. So, I don't know what that is. It's fun, I guess, but it's not dating. It doesn't really provide you the opportunity to get to know this person in a wide variety of circumstances, to have some deep, meaningful conversations with them on a face-to-face level. Because communication takes place on many levels. You got to hear people's voice, is hear the words they say, but you also need to be able to see, their body language, and a lot of that will clue you in on if what they're saying and what they're feeling are matching up. Now, a lot of people get together and they talk about things like movies and, television shows and music and other types of entertainment, concerts and shows and things like that. And that's fun. That's, interesting, I suppose. But if you're looking at kind of screening a person in or out of your life as a romantic partner, those are not important topics at all. That's just social chit chat. You want to be talking about some stuff that's going to let you know this man's moral stance, his values, his goals, how he thinks, and his history. So those are the kind of things you got to concentrate on, ladies. And too many of them, I ask questions like, well, what about this? What does he think about that? What's his favorite thing here? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know. But okay, then you don't know who you're committed to. This is just stupid. Sorry, but it is. Now, there's some very important questions that I think women need to have the answers to before they start considering a commitment with a man. And I'm going to go over some of them. Now, the number one that I think a lot of women, I don't want to say ignore, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem to really, they don't really think about it, is have you been to his house? Do you even know where dude lives? Have you been to his crib? If you haven't, you don't know who you're messing with. Does he live with his mama? Does he have a basement room he's renting in somebody else's house? Is he staying with one of his buddies somewhere, just kind of shacking up? I mean, does he own his own place? I mean, what's going on with him? How responsible an adult is his living situation? And is he living with somebody else, like another woman? Or is he married? These are things that you need to find out, and you only get to find those things out if you can go into a man's environment. Do you know any information about his last 3 relationships? I mean, why did they not work? Has he come to some kind of resolve about his role in the demise of those relationships, or is he blaming it all on his ex? That is important to know because we're looking for growth and maturity here. No relationship fails by itself. There's always some involvement from both people. It may be, 10% and 90%, but there's still 2 people involved in the demise of any relationship. Other things that are important to know are about your man's first. These are milestones in someone's life. His first girlfriend, his first car, his first job, the first time he got fired. These are kind of things that you want to know about someone because it kind of gives you an idea of how their life has tracked. If you have a guy who's had his first girlfriend at 8 and his first sex at 10, well, he might be a little bit too speedy and knowledgeable for a young lady who's still a virgin at 18. These are the kind of things that you would want to know. You also want to know how your man thinks. There's a lot of things going on in the news right now, a lot of politically charged things that have to do with the Black community, and a lot of it has to do with the Roe v. Wade, Planned Parenthood, abortions, and lockdowns on birth control options for, less wealthy women that depend on these public assisted kinds of clinics like Planned Parenthood for birth control and gynecological uh, help. How does he feel about that? Is he on the side of the pro-lifers, or is he more moderate? I mean, you need to know, is he a liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat? How does your man think? Have you taken the time to ask him? Is he like more of a traditional kind of guy where he believes that men and women have specific roles? Men are like this, damn it. Women should do this and that, and that's right, and that's the only way. I mean, you need to know this kind of thing because if you're the kind of woman that is very progressive and doesn't believe in all those traditional roles and all that, you two are going to have some very, very serious problems down the line. You can't gloss over that kind of stuff. What would his expectations be of you if you were his girlfriend? Now, this is key. Is it something that you want to be? Is he the kind of man that you would need to be happy? So, you have to find those things out. And the only way that you can do things like that is by taking your time. Another important question is that you should have the answer to rather is the relationship that he has with his family. Are they close, distant, and estranged? Or is everyone fighting? Are they like the Hatfields and the McCoys? I mean, if you're very close to your family and you love going over to your mother's house a time or two a week and having dinner over there or whatever, and he hasn't seen his family or talked to them in 5 years and can't stand them, that could be a problem. You need to find out a little more information about that. You need to find out, say that you're a college educated person and he's not. That's not necessarily a problem if he's a smart guy. But sometimes guys that don't go to college don't appreciate formal education and actually even put it down. Is that a problem for you? Does your guy read books? Just because you don't have formal education doesn't mean you're not a learned person. But that requires reading. Does your guy like books? What's his favorite book? What's the last book he read? Can you two talk about it? What are the goals that he has for himself, for his life? Just starting what is his goal for, say, this year, 2011? What is it that he has in his 5-year plan, 10-year plan? Does he have one? You need to know this kind of stuff. And then if because he spits out some dreams to you, well, then you need to ask him, well, what are you doing to make those dreams come true? Like he says, oh, I want to be a businessman. I want to have a business when I, get a few years older. Well, what kind of business and what are you doing to prepare yourself for that inevitability? Are you getting education? Are you investigating small business loans? Are you saving money? What are you doing to make that happen? Or is it just, a smoke dream? And another thing is, do your family and friends like him? This is important because a lot of people, you get all wrapped up in the passion and you get blind. You can't see the realities of this person and their negative traits and how damaging they may be for you long term. But your family and your friends know you and they're out to have your back and they're not going to steer you wrong. So if they have any kind of reservations, you might want to listen. I'm not saying it's the kind of thing that you have to take at totally ignore your own judgment. But if you have several different people and they're all pretty much saying the same thing, you need to step back and take a look at and reconsider your relationship with this person. And lastly, ladies, the worst possible thing that you can do is, like this young lady, putting your life and what you want to have in the decision, put that decision making power rather in the hands of that guy that you don't even really know. Why would you do that to yourself? Because in a situation where you don't really know a man that well, the best thing you can do is to date 2 or 3 guys at the same time. You shouldn't be putting all your eggs in one basket like that. You know, he hasn't committed to you. There's no reason for you to be committed to him. You date around, have a good time. I'm not saying you sleep around. So everybody who wants to jump up and down and complain about that, that's not what I said. I said date around. That means you spend time with talking to and getting to know several different people at the same time until the one who is the man for you rises to the top like cream. My last bit of advice is that you make sure that all of this happens and that you know a lot about this man and you feel very comfortable with who he is and what you know about him and the information you've shared with him before you have sex with them. That is my advice. So, ladies, slow down, slow your roll on the commitment issue. Take your time, get to know the man. Because a lot of times, what you find out when you do take your time is that he really wasn't what you thought he was. You can save yourself a lot of drama